Alrighty, good afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Michael Wilhite here with Southern Indiana Weather. Want to bring you an update on the potential winter storm headed our way this weekend. We've got a mess headed our way. You can already see it starting to fill up radar here as we go. You can see light snow starting to spread down over the area. We've got a disturbance that's sort of moving down this way. Will eventually spawn a low pressure system, and then once a cold front sort of drags through the area, we've got a mess of some mixed wintry precipitation that could be headed in our area. Temperature wise around the area, we are still extremely cold. We're in the single digits around the area, and it looks like we're not going to get a whole lot higher today. Made it up to 10 here in Evansville today, 10 over around the Louisville area. And this is around the coldest high temperatures, lowest high temperature that we've seen for a good long time around the area here. So got down to 8 below here at the Southern Indiana Weather Office last night. It was 4 shy of my forecasted low of -12. Didn't quite get there. I don't think we're going to go quite that low tonight either. I think about 8 or 9 below is about as far as we'll go out down tonight because of some cloud cover kicking around. But folks, it's going to be another bitterly cold night on the way. So bundle up, bring those pets inside, leave your faucets dripping, and open up the cabinet doors. All those necessary preparations. Again, it's going to be a very cold night on the way. Let's talk about the weekend storm system that's in advance. That's what I really want to focus most of our attention here on this. I will just go ahead and say this. The GFS and really the Euro that came in today are cold basically the rest of the month. So if cold and snow lovers, I've got good news for you. If you're wanting sunny and 75, I'm sorry, I don't have it in the forecast for you at all. What I've got is a fair amount of consistently cold weather. Winter is finally kicking in. It's a little bit late, but it is finally kicking in. It's turning out to be another month similar to what we had in November. We kicked off the winter season in November with a bitterly cold month. We went fairly mild, and a lot of people said, wow, December is above normal. It really wasn't above normal. It was pretty much an average month. We were only just a very 0.2 or 3 degrees above normal. It wasn't very bad around here. January was a little bit warmer than normal, and now here we are into February, and boom, we're going to be way colder than normal by the time it's all said and done in February. Winter has finally decided to kick in. Good snowpack, by the way, on the ground. And let me just sort of show that. Take the radar off here, and we'll throw visible satellite here over across the area for you. And you can see with a mostly sunny sky around the area, you can see that good snowpack on the ground. And what that snowpack is going to do is allow our temperatures this weekend, even though warm southerly winds are headed our way, that's going to allow that warm air to ride over the top of that dense cold air. We're going to stay pretty well cold here at the surface. The question is, how much warming could we end up mixing down into the surface, and how deep is that warm layer, because that's going to help determine our precipitation types. Let's go ahead and time a couple things out. Let me show you what future radar says. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use the NAM model for most of my thinking on this. The NAM has been the king the past few warm air advection winter events that we've had around here. It handled some things well. This was the first, by the way, this time around to latch on to this idea. Now the GFS and the Euro are starting to play catch up to this idea. Canadian hasn't caught on yet. It's out somewhere in La La Land eating lunch or something. But the NAM, I think, is getting on to the right type of solution. Now, as I go through this, what you're going to see is a mix of rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow. Don't focus entirely on where those cutoff lines are, because I don't think it's got that completely right yet. But what I want to show you is that it's all directly over our area, and that's what's really the most important thing is. All right, so here we started off on Friday morning. Nothing into our area yet. We will start to cloud up on Friday. It's going to be a rather gloomy day. As we head throughout the day, the precipitation starts to develop, and here's by 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the NAM has snow breaking out over into our area. In fact, we could end up with some snow accumulation tomorrow night. There's still some questions on that right now, so I'm not going to put any official forecasted totals out until I see some data later tonight. I want to let the 0Z runs process tonight, the 7 p.m. runs, before I start to finalize any thinking on totals. But there is a possibility on Friday night that we could have a little bit of those totals. So we'll keep an eye on that very closely. Now, as we go throughout the day into the overnight hours, though, watch what happens. We've got this storm system down to our south that slowly starts to work its way in. Here we are late into the overnight hours, very early on on Saturday morning, and this would be, what, about 4 or 5 a.m., so right around in there. And you can see potentially some heavy snow breaking out over southern Indiana. What you notice down here in Kentucky is you've got sort of a mixed bag of precipitation. You've got these purple shades mixing in with these rain tones here, and so what you've got is a mix of rain, snow, and ice all bagged together down to our south. But it's all snow for us here in Indiana at this point so far. You continue to put the radar into motion. By the time we reach 7 a.m. Saturday morning, the snow is moving off into the area, and just some light stuff around the area. And most of the rain, for what does come, would stay down in Kentucky and avoids us altogether. That is because in previous model runs, which I have said all along this week, had it dead wrong, they've taken a low pressure and they've sort of tracked it up right like this. That's a bunch of malarkey, in my opinion. I've said it's a bunch of malarkey all week long because we have a heavy snowpack right over this area. This is not what normally happens. When you have a heavy snowpack over this area, typically what you have happen is a low that moves more in the shade of where this blue line is. That's what the latest models want to do it today. Very much of a weaker low. It moves this area, moves in this way. It sort of gets sucked into the cold front, and the cold front passes through. The whole thing pushes off to our east, and we get less precipitation on Saturday. So that's the way the NAM is thinking about things at this point. Let's go ahead and take a look at the GFS real quick. The GFS is saying something a little bit. Let me get the GFS up here just to give you an idea. So here we are with the GFS. Let me start this out and clear that off of here for you. Come on now, there we go. Things are great when it cooperates. Here we go. The high pressure moves off. That's caused our mostly sunny skies. Here we go. Let's go by, let me back this up. Here's Friday at 1. Apologize for the jumpiness here, folks. Here's about 1 on Friday. All right. And you start to see some precipitation moving in. And it starts to eventually move in and overtake the area. Some very heavy precipitation down to our south. What you notice is here, though, this is the 0 degree line. This is the freezing line at about 4 or 5,000 feet up in the atmosphere. That's where the snow would be produced. So what we have here is anything south of this line could fall into a mixed bag, either a liquid form or it could fall in sort of a sleet kind of state. Either one. We got to look at temperatures at the surface. If we put temperatures at the surface on that, well, we're only in the low 30s around the area at that time, according to the GFS. In fact, GFS only warmed us up to about 32 to 34 degrees across the area. So we've got some danger zone as far as those temperatures are concerned. If anything does fall as all rain, it would be an extremely cold rain. I'm not buying that it's going to be an all rain event for southern Indiana, or transitioning to an all rain, I should say. I'm not buying that we see any rain yet. I'm not even buying that we see freezing rain. To me, this looks more like a sleet kind of a thing. Now, we'll say this, if I put you the precipitation type on here, the GFS is wanting to take this just into a cold rain. Again, I'm not really buying into that solution yet, but it's one solution that's out there on the table, and so I show it to you. But as I just go ahead and put this in, here it is. The GFS starts us off with snow for the overnight hours, maybe mixes it with some sleet or freezing rain, transition in the very far southern part of the state here to rain, and then back to snow and some sleet, freezing rain kind of precipitation as it exits the system. That's a little bit different than what the NAM showed it. The NAM doesn't have us much at all on Saturday, whereas the GFS gives us a fair amount on Saturday. So there's some model disagreements on here. The European model, just to give you an idea, the European model also gives us some more of a similar line here with the GFS. So there's a lot of question marks we've got on this at this point. Really, we're going to have to fine-tune these details. Hopefully those models tonight, whenever they run at 7 p.m. and by 10 or 11 o'clock tonight, maybe we'll be able to have a little bit better of an idea what's going on. Something that we will certainly be watching. Here's the reason why, by the way, it's going to be big-time important. Take a look at what the NAM model is showing you as far as precipitation totals. Heavy, heavy, heavy precipitation down here to the south. Now, if by chance this all became one type of a dominant type over another, all right, so let's say this was all ice. That would be a mega ice storm. Probably not going to be all ice, thankfully. But what if this became all snow? It could be a pretty sizable snowstorm, certainly, once you do this. Right over our area, you've got anywhere from 6 to 7/10 of an inch of liquid precipitation here in the Evansville area to maybe a ½ inch around Du Bois County to as little as a quarter inch by the time you get up to Bloomington. There's a wide variance of precipitation totals around the area, but if all that came in the form of all snow, well, then that could be a 3 to 5 inch snow or so, or maybe more around the area. So that's something that we've got to watch. If it's all ice, ooh, that could be even worse. This is one of those messy type of situations that we are really just going to have to keep our eye on, folks. I'll be honest with you. I haven't updated a whole lot on this week because I've been focused on our other little events and trying to look at this as well. But this is one of the toughest forecasts I've had to make in years. This is a complicated system. Now, snow-wise is certainly a potential with this. The NAM keeps us in the all-snow category here in southern Indiana, with a little bit of sleet potentially mixing in. And with its snow totals, it keeps some heavy snow for Kentucky as well. But you can see a very sharp cutoff to that snow. First blue shadings start about 2 inches here in the modeling. And so you go south of Bloomington, you've really got from Bloomington south down to around Orange County, you got about 1 inch potential, and then 2+ inches south of that to the Ohio River. This could be a area-wide 1 to 4 inch snowstorm system, according to what the NAM wants to say with this. It could be a heck of a storm system, a snowstorm down to our south again. That's something they'll have to watch. Because of that reason, the National Weather Service has already issued a winter storm watch. It does not include any of our Indiana counties, though. It is down here into Kentucky. Winter storm warning criteria is 4 inches or greater of snow. There's a good chance that they will meet that. There is not a good chance that we will meet that. Looks like this may be a winter weather advisory level kind of snow for us, and that would be less than 4 inches, from 1 inch up to the 4 inches. And that's what I think that we'll see. Probably just a winter weather advisory with this. But keep it tuned. We will see. All right, now beyond that, let me show you some other things. Let me go back here to the GFS. Let me show you what the GFS is showing as far as total snowfall, just to give you an idea of where it stands. And you can see some heavy snows here on the GFS as well as you go down here. Lighter snows here for southern Indiana, though, and instead of maybe 1 to 4 inches, 1 to 2 inches maybe across the area. So there are some variances on it. Let me show you the Euro, though. The Euro, way different than the others. The Euro wanting to bury us with 1 to 5 inches here, potentially, across southern Indiana. So again, the wide openness on the snow totals, something that we're going to have to keep an eye on. But it does look like this could be a pretty significant winter storm. Time now is to prepare. I don't want to create mass panic, but if you want to get your groceries for the weekend or have errands that you need to do, I would do it tonight and on Friday. I wouldn't wait until Saturday to do it, because Saturday could be a mess. I would suspect that on Saturday morning, it'd be better just to stay at home, folks. Saturday morning, the roads look like it could be a terrible, nasty mess around here. We will see. Here is what the forecast looks like, folks. Go to southernindianaweather.com. You can also download our mobile app for Google Play or Apple devices. Again, about 9 below zero tonight. I think the colder weather is going to stay down in Kentucky tonight. So again, we'll have that going for us. Tomorrow, though, it'll be a pretty gloomy day. We start to cloud up. By the way, I've got mostly clear and brutally cold again. We'll stay mostly clear early in the night, but I think that we will have some clouds by morning. All right, just to give you an idea, we'll start to have some of those clouds a little bit by the morning. That's why I don't think we're going to go double-digit below zero in Indiana tonight. I could be wrong on that. There's a possibility some places could, but I'm limited at -9 because of that extra cloud cover that I think that's going to come closer to daybreak. Gloomy day on Friday, chance of light snow showers later in the day, though, probably after school's let out. So if you're a school administrator and you're watching this and you're trying to make a decision, should I have snow? Should I have school? Should I not have school? Temperature-wise, is going to be more of a factor for you than snow, because I think the snow would start to fall across the area after school's already let out. Don't let that be an influence on you. 24 for your high tomorrow. That's going to feel like a heat wave. We might need Bermuda shorts and t-shirts out tomorrow because of the heat wave that we would have, all right? Maybe not that extreme, but you get the idea. Rising temperatures overnight. Maybe fall at dark to a little bit, but then they start to rise up overnight. Light snow, maybe mixes or changes to some sleet overnight. There's some questions about that. Saturday, how warm do we go? Again, temperatures mid-30s at best is what I'm seeing around the area. 32 to 35 seems to be about the range I think that we're going to stay in for our high temperatures on Saturday. So a chance of some snow and sleet with that. Freezing rain potential, Maybe. I haven't written it into the forecast because I think that chance is very low. I think that will stay to the south of us. I'm not convinced we will see any rain in Indiana with this system. I am convinced it's probably a snow and sleet setup. Could it go to an all rain like the GFS says? Maybe, but I'm not buying into it yet. I'm not sure that we're going to be warm enough for that. Either way, I think it comes to an end on Saturday night and Sunday. That's when the cool down really begins. Only 27 for your high Sunday. Back to the freezer for Monday, and then beyond that, folks, it's going to get continued cold too. I've got some upper 20s and low 30s, but I haven't even dealt with the Tuesday through Friday portions of updating that outlook yet. I will say the GFS has come in extremely colder. Let me just show you that real quick. Here's what the GFS shows you. You read this time series from left to right, maximum temperature and minimum temperature, and look at this. Even after this, it wants to take us potentially near zero and below zero temperatures again. And your high temperatures across the time, look at this. As far as the eye can see, all the way out here to the end of February, we don't break past the 30s that we see this weekend. Cold air is coming. It's starting to lock in place. We'll be tracking it here, folks. I'll have more updates throughout the evening as we get more data in. I'm meteorologist Michael Wilhite. Have a great night, folks. I'll see you next time.